on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Bitcoin managing to still hold above the $23,000 level. In fact, it looks quite good today for the majority of cryptocurrencies. XRP in the deep red, down another 11% on the daily. You may have heard the news. Not so great of news for XRP, but should you be worried if you are an XRP holder? Well, I will talk about that at the end of the video. I do want to focus, though, on Bitcoin as usual, because right now, Bitcoin once again is retesting this critical resistance, trying to flip support. Is Bitcoin actually looking for another major move? Now, we do know that around the holidays, especially right around Christmas, we have seen some sort of lackluster Bitcoin moves in the past. Maybe people are just not trading, spending time with family, buying gifts, right? So what could we expect for Bitcoin? Well, there's one thing specifically that we must not ignore, and that is the fact that we are having a major liquidity crisis, a supply shock, and some people are not taking this very seriously. They're just sort of brushing it off like, oh, well, yeah, lots of institutions are starting to buy Bitcoin. Yes, they are, but what they don't understand is how fast this could actually escalate. You watched Bitcoin go from $7,200 in the beginning of the year to $24,000, and we haven't even hit 2021 yet. Just imagine what's going to happen when all of these companies start actually putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We're talking about Bitcoin hitting upwards of even $1 million, and it's not that crazy. So I do want to talk about that. I also want to talk about something really big that's happening for cryptocurrencies. We do have a sort of collaboration between WireX and Visa, and now we have another 61 million merchants able to accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But first, let's dive in. Let's have a look, and let's start off not with the charts, but with this tweet. Now, I retweeted this morning, and I really started thinking about this. So Michael Saylor says, money is flowing out of conventional assets into Bitcoin due to the escalating risks of global currency devaluation, technology disruption, social dislocation, and political uncertainty. This is not a rally or bubble. It's a chain reaction spreading like a fire in cyberspace. Is it actually different this time around? Well, let's talk about the short term, because I know some people do like that short-term price action. We did bounce beautifully off the top of this channel. Look at that wick. Look at that. Actually, this is where Michael Saylor bought the dip, by the way, so maybe that was him and his buddies pushing the price back up. But you can see right here, we are getting back into this critical territory, and we were looking to get above the $23,275 level. We did, in fact, do it. Look right here. We had this acting as resistance, flip support, and then we dumped under it, resistance, and look at this, guys. We did have a little bit of a struggle, and currently we are sitting back above it again. Now, having a look right here, we are coming back to the top of the channel. This would be the third time Bitcoin is attempting to touch this. You could look at it as this is the breakout, or we may need to have that sort of cool off period, retesting down to some of these levels. Now, like I did tell you guys in the past, usually right around, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Bitcoin tends to get a little lazy. You usually don't see these big, massive moves on the holiday itself, right? So we might be looking for a potential sideways, boring, lazy kind of Bitcoin, leading up to the end of the week. Keep your eyes on it. But I do want to just once again talk about the fact that we did actually pull back into the Bollinger Bands. So, you could be looking for a retest of the basis. Right here, we do tend to come in here and test it a couple times. So, if this line was to, let's say, extend itself somewhere out here, yeah, you might see Bitcoin sort of retest down to the maybe $20,000, $21,000 level again. But, you got to think to yourself, how convenient is it that Bitcoin hits an all-time high just as the U.S. national debt also hits an all-time high? It seems like it is inevitable. I mean, just having a look at Bitcoin versus everything else right now. I mean, this is the start of the year to now. Bitcoin is the blue line, by the way. I think the writing is on the wall, and somebody needs to carefully explain to Peter Schiff, it's kind of getting old, buddy. And yes, oh, guys, the stimulus, right? The $600 stimulus. Well, like Dr. Bitcoin MD says, it took members of Congress 5,593 pages for $600. It took Satoshi 8 pages to free us from them. Now, talking about the potential chance of the dump, right? Because I do want to talk about both sides of the equation. Why not, right? You do have Ki Young Ju over at I forget, where is he at? CryptoQuant, right? Is that his yeah, he's the CEO. And he was talking about this indicator that says when we hit 2 Bitcoin, it's likely to go sideways or bearish. So there is that potential chance of, falling to the downside. But let's not forget, if we have things like black swan events, let's talk about a white swan event. Is that a thing? A white swan event? Well, if there is such a thing as a white swan event, it is happening right now. You are seeing MicroStrategy, public traded companies, all of these different, Elon Musk talking about cryptocurrency, right? And now we have the wealth management firm Skybridge Capital, which manages over $9.2 billion in assets under management, now looking to allocate a fund for Bitcoin called the Skybridge Bitcoin Fund LP. The news of the fund stems from a Form D SEC filing, and it looks like this is just showing that they are looking to manage a Bitcoin fund. We've already seen Grayscale gobbling up all the Bitcoin. We also have PayPal buying upwards of 70%. This is the liquidity crisis that we're talking about. And, you have everyone. Everyone is basically admitting that they're wrong except for Peter Schiff. You even have Jason Calacanis. And, this was back in November of 2018. He said, if you own Bitcoin, understand it's a highly manipulated currency with no rules or regulations. If you didn't get in early, you are the sucker at the table. $3,700. Ouch. Well, that didn't age very well, did it? But let's talk about what my good old buddy Raphael is mentioning about Bitcoin in a supply and liquidity crisis. Many people are not taking this seriously. Yes, I love looking at the technicals. Yes, I do believe that TA has a major role to play in the chart. However, at some point, my friends, the fundamentals of what is actually happening right now, it's going to be really difficult to use traditional TA for these massive moves because there is just so much demand, and there is clearly a lot of Bitcoin you could see right here where it actually starts to leave. And now let me just go into what he basically says right here. So he says accumulation balance, the amount of Bitcoin held in accumulating addresses is 2.7 million Bitcoin. Those addresses that have only received Bitcoin and never spent funds. The true hodlers are hoarding 14.5% of the circulating supply. What about lost Bitcoins? He says 21 million Bitcoins, you wish. In fact, he's saying 3 million, but I've heard that there's an estimated 4 million Bitcoin potentially lost, roughly 16% less circulating supply. And don't forget, we have Satoshi's Bitcoin, which, let's be honest, is probably most likely never going to move from his wallet, right? Also, he talks about institutional Bitcoin demand. Grayscale, 537 million. MicroStrategy, 475. He talks about Mass Mutual buying. Also talking about Grayscale, Bitcoins added to the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in the past 6 months, 210,000 Bitcoin, but Bitcoins mined in the past 6 months, only 185. That's right, Grayscale has been buying alone more Bitcoin than is even available from the miners. And that is just one entity. Just Grayscale, not including everyone else that we're talking about. He says exchange balances. We spoke about this. Since January, the supply on exchanges has dropped 20%. Where is the Bitcoin going? It's going into cold storage. Oh my goodness, the Ledger. It's not funny. It's actually not funny what happened with Ledger. There's no excuse for them letting all that information out. But whatever hardware wallet you own, whether it be a Trezor or whatever, point is they're taking it off of the exchanges and they're putting it away in cold storage, right? He also talks about liquid Bitcoin supply, 14.4 million Bitcoin held by illiquid entities. That is 78% of the current supply. Illiquid entities spend less than 25% of the Bitcoin they receive, acting as supply sinks into the network. Bitcoin, and then you want to talk about the miners. He says, are miners cashing out at these prices? I don't think so. The amount of miner unspent Bitcoin supply that has never left the miner addresses has been increasing since the last halving. Current miner balance 1.7 million. And let's talk about just the tip of the iceberg of these companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. In fact, you might be familiar with Pierre Ricard. He is a Bitcoin strategist at crypto exchange Kraken, and he explained that he expects more than half of the companies making up the S&P 500 to have at least some Bitcoin in their balance sheet by the end of next year. He says, my boldest prediction is that if we take the S&P 500, the world's largest corporations, I think that by the end of 2021, more than half of them will have Bitcoin on their balance sheets. And so because that is the case, we have market data showing this. We're going to see a huge amount of corporate adoption of Bitcoin, and we'll see like what we've seen with MicroStrategy, what they're doing, corporations issuing large quantities of bonds, fixed income instruments, whether they're convertible or whatever, into just bulk buy Bitcoin. He says this will be driven by simple economics, which is that issuing shares to buy Bitcoin causes your stock price to go up more than dilution. And then he went further and said that he believes, and this is a little bit of a stretch here, let me know what you think about this one, but he says he believes that as more and more companies follow MicroStrategy's lead and start using Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset, that they could eventually insist on getting paid in Bitcoin. What do you guys think about that? Would you get paid in Bitcoin? Would you, if right now your job offered to start paying you in Bitcoin, would you prefer to actually be paid in Bitcoin, or do you like having dollars and then you can buy the Bitcoin? Let me know what you guys think about that. But I'll tell you what, if that was the case, that would definitely increase the demand for it. And like, Mike Novogratz, you guys know he's a Bitcoin bull over at Galaxy Digital. And, he goes on to just explain in a recent interview why he says that it's totally different this time around. So many people that I still talk to are comparing what we're doing right now with 2017. And I can tell you, as someone that lived through the entire bull run and the miserable, depressing bear market and has now seen this surge again, they are not the same. Anyone telling you that has no idea what they're talking about. Don't listen to these people. Just turn off the channel or whatever, because it is completely different. He talks about Bitcoin hitting 50,000 next year. He also talks about, obviously a percentage of gold moving into Bitcoin. He also talks about if Bitcoin was to be at 50K, that is still only about 10% of gold's market cap today. And he says that when we get there, you're probably going to look at it and go, 10% probably should be more than 25%, considering how much better it is than gold anyway. And he says it is going to eclipse. And one thing he does bring up is, talking about these companies investing, he talks about Mass Mutual, right? Which announced December 10th that they had made a $100 million investment into Bitcoin and bought a minority stake in the New York Digital Investment Group. He says this is a huge, huge deal. If we actually just step back and think about it, how important this is. If an insurance company can do this and be public about it, and there is not an institution in the world, at this point that has to feel shame about buying Bitcoin. And think about it, my friends, an insurance company which provides insurance for people who need to be insured is insuring themselves with the insurance of Bitcoin. I think that is probably the craziest thing of the day. And, let's talk about this Bitcoin $1 million price, right? Sounds crazy, right? But really though, is it that crazy? You guys know Willy Woo. He's one of my favorite analysts out there. And he says that reaching $1 million is not out of the question. He says, yes, we would need a very, steep hockey stick pattern, but it's definitely not out of the question. Now, he does say that $100,000 is very conservative, and he can say that maybe 200,000 is right on track. Okay, so maybe we only hit the 200K. Maybe we don't hit the 288, 500K mark. But, he does say, and this is the interesting part, the gap between 300K and $1 million, comparing the price leap to space travel, according to Wu, the amount of energy required to get to Mars is not significantly more than reaching the moon, despite the obvious discrepancy in distance. All right, that's interesting. I guess momentum in space. Okay, I get where he's going with that. He says the next key mark is in the sand for me is between $50,000 and $55,000 Bitcoin. Funny how everybody seems to be looking at that number. And that broaches us into that 1 trillion resistance level market cap. If Bitcoin becomes a $1 trillion asset market cap, at that point, all major macro asset buckets are $1 trillion, and Bitcoin's not even in that league yet. And then he says, and think about it, once it's there, then it's official. Once it hits a $1 trillion market cap, like, what are you going to say now? What are you going to say now about Bitcoin not being valid? Bitcoin's rising market cap could create what he calls a black hole to suck value from other assets, including gold, which is actually already happening right now. We've literally seen tons of companies and individuals, high net worth, family offices saying they are selling gold. I mean, it's not like some conspiracy, like it's literally happening. Like we're seeing it, right? So what is going on with XRP? Why is XRP in the deep red today? Well, if you guys don't know what happened, it has fallen 21% in the past 2 days, and it looks like the SEC is preparing a lawsuit against Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO, actually came out and said that they voted to attack crypto. Chairman Jay Clayton in his final act is picking winners, according to Brad Garlinghouse, and trying to limit U.S. innovation in the crypto industry to just Bitcoin and Ethereum. We know crypto and blockchain technologies aren't going anywhere, and they do say that Ripple has and will continue to use XRP because it is the best digital asset for payments, speed, cost, scalability, energy efficient. It's traded on 200 plus exchanges globally and will continue to thrive. Whenever you think about Ripple, though, do you not think about when CNBC, this is hilarious, crypto class, how to buy Ripple. They did this at $2.57, and then they had crypto class, how to sell Ripple, and that was at 71 cents. But in all sincerity, guys, yeah, I mean, should you be worried? Well, to be honest with you, it's probably just going to end up being a fine. You know, they're just going to have to pay a fine, and, once that FUD gets over with, it'll probably be fine. It'll be okay. Okay, but yeah, I mean, that's what's going to end up happening. But you do have Vitalik taking jabs. Looks like Ripple XRP team is sinking to new levels of strangeness. They're claiming that their shitcoin should not be called a security for public policy reasons, namely because Bitcoin and Ethereum are Chinese controlled. In all fairness, though, man, I mean, I'm still paying really high fees on Ethereum. So I don't know, man. Look, every blockchain's got its issues. Every blockchain has its setbacks. Bitcoin is slow, but it's secure. Ethereum has smart contracts, but it's really expensive. XRP could be a security, but it's really cheap and fast to send. I don't know, guys. Pick and choose your battle. Pick and choose your poison. At the end of the day, I think cryptocurrency, we just all need to get along with each other. I think there's room for everybody, right? You can like Polkadot. You can like Elrond. You can like Ethereum. You can like Tron. You know, whatever works for you, man. That's the beauty of, decentralization and being able to make your own choices and your own decisions. Now, talking about a little bit of legal issues, and then we're going to get on out of here because I know you guys got places to be. We are getting around. It is the holiday season, right? So it looks like Coinbase actually was given a notice by FinCEN, and they gave them 15 days to reply. Now, this is crazy for them to make all these different changes for know your customer. And they basically came out and said, in just 15 days, spanning Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, in the middle of a global pandemic, are you really serious right now? So they did ask for an extension. They're looking for the typical 60-day period. It is weird, though, why FinCEN offered Coinbase just 15 days to respond. What is their rush? Are they trying to get this all in before the end of the tax year? It just seems a little bit weird. But ending on some good note, positive note, London-based payments crypto company WireX who does work with crypto, etc. They have been added to Visa to its European network as a principal member. This is another step forward, right? PayPal was good news. Now we have this. So Visa's head of cryptocurrency, Kai Sheffield, stated that the giant is happy to work with WireX. He added that thanks to Visa's network, the firm's clients will be able to spend cryptocurrency at an additional 61 million merchants, or at 61 million merchants where they are accepted. So that is all good and dandy. Hope you guys are enjoying your day today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm definitely excited. It's a critical time for cryptocurrency, and it is very difficult to really, I love doing TA. I love looking at the charts, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, we're just getting some insane demand coming in from all over the place, and it's going to get to a point where, is it even worth charting anymore? I mean, yeah, you could use it for trading, but, this thing is going to take off like a rocket ship. And, people that are still too scared to buy at these prices, what are you going to do when it's 100,000? What are you going to do when it's 200? What are you going to do when it's 500? When it's a million? It's going to happen. It is inevitable. This cannot continue forever. And if it does, we're going to be looking for a plan B. And I think you know where we're going to find it. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Enjoy your holidays. Not that I'm really going anywhere. I'll probably make a video on Christmas Day because I'm crazy like that. But yeah, so that's it for me. You guys rock. Enjoy your day. And let me know what you guys think about, drop comments below. I love to read the comments in this video. And that is it for me. You guys rock. Get subscribed to the Telegram group. Yada, yada, yada. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Go do something else. Turn the video off. Why are you still watching? Why are you still, after 3 years, watching this crazy guy rant on the internet? No, honestly, it is an honor and a pleasure. The fact that that there is a platform out there where an average dude like me can just make these videos and just talk about crypto, really awesome. The community is great. I love each and every one of you watching. Thank you so much. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.